Hey guys, it's time to get started with Bollocks this evening, and we're excited to be here. It is our day to argue. So if you want to hear me and Lenny argue, turn up the volume. If you don't want to hear us argue,
you'll hear us anyway. Don't worry about it.
If you don't, because we're not whispering today. Today is the thunderous Tuesday that we do talk about our disagreements in the world, all over the world, and sometimes we talk about our agreements in the world.
There you go.
But we always do that in the
Bozard Ford Studio.
Damn right we do. And I got to tell you about the people at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com.
Opposite the Castillo de San Marcos, which was built to defend the city from their raids, is the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, which houses the world's largest and most authentic collection of pirate artifacts, curated by Pat Croce and the Croce family. Included in the collection of over 800 items, exhibited in 40 immersive exhibits, where you can hear cannons roar in the background, is one of the only 3 surviving Jolly Roger flags left in the world. See gold from the Blackbeard's ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, and blunderbuss he used to steal and keep it. See treasure chests and jewel-encrusted weapons, as well as the memorabilia from Hook and other pirate-themed movies. There's a scavenger hunt designed for younger guests to learn about pirate lore as they explore the museum, as well as fully stocked gift shop. Put on an eye patch, grab your parrot as you experience the golden age of piracy, located in downtown St. Augustine, across from the fort.
All right, Brightway Insurance. Since 2008, Brightway Insurance, a Casey agency, has been guiding St. Augustine through hurricanes, floods, fires, and more. Led by longtime local Ashley Casey, this is insurance done the brighter way. No confusing jargon, no one-size-fits-all policy, just clear guidance, multiple quotes, and customized coverage that protects what matters most. With deep roots in the community and decades of experience, Ashley and his team make insurance simple, affordable, and personal. Visit them on the island at 108 Seagrove Main Street or call 904-217-7547. Brightway, the brighter way to do insurance.
You can experience the art of Italian dining at Saint, nestled in the heart of historic St. Augustine. From handmade pastas to rich risottos and indulgent tiramisu, every dish blends authentic Italian flavor with modern elegance. Sip a craft cocktail, savor seasonal ingredients, and enjoy breathtaking views from their second-floor balcony or rooftop patio, where you can take in the bayfront and even spot the lighthouse on a clear day. At Saint, every meal is a celebration. Join us there and elevate your dining experience.
All right. We have several other amazing sponsors like Anastasia Construction Group, Solar Stick, Abear Kresge and Associates, Powell Heating and Air, Meehan's Irish Pub, A.D. Davis Construction, St. Augustine Distillery, and Citygate Spirits, along with A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner, and they are just an amazing group to be associated with. We appreciate each and every one of you. We do have some spots available if you guys are out there and looking to get some advertisement and get your company in front of about 800,000 people each month. Let us know and give us a call here at the 904 Now. All right, Lenny, it is Tuesday. We have lots of stuff to talk about. Blake, so we don't have confusion, what was in the title?
We have Jerome Powell, wind farms, and arguments.
And arguments. That's a little unspecific, but okay.
Jerome Powell, wind farms, and arguments.
The arguments was just general, like because we all know we're all going to argue today.
Yeah, it's our day. It's our day to get it out. This is our high blood pressure day, and then we go home and take deep breaths.
There you go.
All right. Where do you want to start with, Blake?
Let's start with Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell.
Okay.
Lenny, what you got?
Well, Donnie's pissed at him and is going after him. I should say he's not, because he can keep this at allegedly arm's length, because the Department of Justice has opened an inquiry into the, and I will say, excessive cost of renovating the Federal Reserve building. It's up to like $2.6 billion.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It certainly is. But there's a lot of pot calling the kettle black going on here. You look at the ballroom now. Granted, $400 million and $2.6 billion are not equal. However, the concepts are similar. There's a little bait and switch going on. And I'm not quite sure how it became $2.6 billion and whether it's all necessary or not. But the mechanism is to call him before an oversight committee in Congress, not to, bring him up on some kangaroo charges before the Department of Justice. And whether or not they're going to pursue these charges remains to be seen. First of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent branch of the government, though Trump is trying to keep it under his thumb as much as he can and control it. He's trying to make Powell do things that Powell says is not necessarily in the best interest of the economy, though Trump disagrees. And he's going to replace him in May when his term expires. It's going to be interesting to see if Jerome Powell will stay on as a Fed commissioner, because when he is off the chair, he still has the right to retain his commissionership for whatever that term ends. It might be 2028. So we'll see if he wants to stick around for that. If he does, he's a stronger man than I. But the majority of this is because he will not capitulate to Trump's will. And anybody who pays any attention to Donald Trump's prevarications is if you say no to him, he will find a mechanism to torture you, either through the courts, through the press, through his Truth Social app. He is a vindictive individual, and that is not an opinion, that is reality.
Okay, that is an opinion, and if you don't think that's an opinion, then you don't understand what an opinion is.
Oh, I think that we can give chapter and verse of his vindictiveness.
You know what? My opinion is, I agree he is very vindictive.
Okay.
But for you to say that is not an opinion, that is not true.
Fine. The fact is,
I agree.
Okay.
This might be the last time I agree with you on this show.
The fact is, he's very vindictive.
He is very vindictive.
Okay, we'll call it a fact instead of an opinion. I was trying to be polite. See what happens?
It is widely accepted that he is very, very vindictive. And he likes to have his way. I mean, that's part of where it's at. But the Federal Reserve. Let's talk about the origins of the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
Wasn't that? And I got some antiviral. I'm going to have to shut things down over here. I got some.
What
Something happened on that? I think as soon as and it didn't happen.
As soon as you agreed with me?
No. As soon as I started Googling Jerome Powell and the DOJ.
Okay.
All of a sudden, all my viral, my Norris and all that stuff just is going crazy. See, look at it. You can hear it.
I know.
It's clicking over here. So we're gonna click out of that, and I'm gonna keep the other one. All right, back to the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
What? How did it begin? It began in the early 1900s. Was it around 1913, 1912? And Rockefeller had a lot to do with this.
JD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he controlled everything at that time. So.
With his buddy Henry Flagler. Actually, 1913, I think Henry Flagler
died.
He just died in 1913.
Right. So Henry, I don't think, had anything to do with this. And Rockefeller and Henry didn't talk a whole lot once he married the Keenan woman. So she was a younger woman. Flagler had not.
It was his third wife, right?
Yeah, it was his third wife. Flagler was not a drinker. Keenan was very social, liked to throw parties. And in his 60s, Henry Flagler began to drink. Rockefeller was a teetotaler. So he was all business. It was none of that other stuff.
No fun.
So
actually, you know what? He's the reason there's Acadia National Park up in Maine. So
JD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But so it started in 1913, and it was Rockefeller who controlled a huge percentage of the wealth in the United States.
Most of it, yeah.
Like if you take Elon Musk, who's like supposed to be the richest man in the world right now, and you multiplied his money by like 7 times, that's about where Rockefeller would have been in comparison to the money. All right? And so when it comes to the Federal Reserve, I don't trust either side. I don't trust the Federal Reserve, and I don't trust the U.S. government, because it's all about who's grabbing the most money and who can benefit. They're all playing Monopoly with our money, is my opinion. So, but just the origins of where that started has me questioning the Federal Reserve in a lot of different ways. And they control more than they should, in my opinion.
Okay.
So.
Well, you need some kind of constraint on interest rates. Otherwise, it'd be craziness.
Yeah. No, I understand why it has to exist. I'm just saying that when that much money is involved, the chance of corruption raises at an entirely different level.
When you say corruption, I hope you mean that the system is corrupt, not the individuals in the system
I'm not identifying individuals.
You can say corruption as, the president telling him to lower interest rates, which maybe benefit for his political situation, but not necessarily benefit for the
long
country,
haul.
or the economy in general.
Yeah, and we have to have guys who, they
need to be independent.
Like you and I up here, we spew things like we know, and we don't.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah, but we sound confident when we say it.
But it's our opinion.
Right.
That's an opinion.
As opposed to the fact that I put out earlier under the guise of an opinion.
That is not a fact. That is an opinion. We spew stuff like we know, but do we really know? And we read probably more than the average bear, and we kind of keep our nose down a little bit more than the average bear. But we don't know.
Well, plus, nowadays, regardless of what we read, you need to trust the source that you're reading. And everything is so skewed nowadays. And it's, I got a corollary to your oil situation for later on in the show.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of where you're getting your information from and how accurate that information is, or more importantly, how unbiased it is.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. The argument, it's like recycling to me. We were sold. Finally, I believe most people are kind of coming to my side that I've been saying for 20 years, like, this doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry this thing keeps going off like that. So let me see if I can turn down this so that we won't keep hearing my antivirus thing, because I need that article to sound smart.
I got my flu shot, so you carry on with your virus.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's something happening. You threw out the Fed and the DOJ, and all of a sudden my computer starts.
And surprisingly, mine didn't. Well, mine's probably on a watch list.
Yours is already there.
Right.
So, it's Trojan detected. Fix it now.
For how much?
Yeah, exactly.
For what nominal fee?
Yeah, I am a Trojan. That's what Troy is a Trojan. So. Trojan's person from Troy.
I didn't know you went to USC.
Yeah. So, the ones before them.
Oh, okay.
But my doubts come from there's this much money involved, so the chances of corruption in my head go up with the amount of money that can flush through. So, Donald Trump's sitting in a position. He didn't get the answer he wants, so he's going to put the Department of Justice on Powell. It'll be interesting to see how much Powell pushes back.
He already has.
Powell's not a young man.
Yeah,
so
but
he's done very well in his life, and he can just say, "Well, screw this."
Well, also, except for the fact that his reputation is being besmirched, and you know what? He's been very good. He's stood there. He's listened to everything Trump said about him. Trump has been vilifying him for years. And he smiled and not responded. Now he's being investigated, and he said, all right, enough of this nonsense. This is just bullshit.
Trump's a guy who buys off of debt. So he's definitely never going to be on the same side as...
I'm sorry, did you say he lies off of debt?
Both.
Thank you. Carry on.
He relies...
I know. Right.
Relies...
He needs lower interest rates so that he can do that.
He relies off of debt. So this is self-benefiting.
Right.
If he gets lower interest rates.
Right. But he's trying to make the case that it's benefiting all of us, which to some degree it does, to some degree it doesn't.
It does in a lot of ways, but everything in the balance of money comes back around. Like if you say, "Oh, well, we're going to throw out the tariffs, but you're going to pay for it someplace else."
Of course.
Are you going to put the tariffs on? Now it's going to get pushed into the fees. And the government just saved $9 bazillion. it all balances out. Right. That's the one thing about money that kind of happens. The one thing that Trump, I think, is trying to get across, and I'm playing devil's advocate here,
okay,
is by lowering the interest rate, it puts more money in people's pockets, and it puts more money into the economy for them to have more buying power. Right. That's the argument that I can see Trump can win on his side. But if it hurts us in the long run, you know, it's like it's like giving a soldier morphine on the battlefield. It helps right now.
Right. If he becomes addicted, however.
If he becomes addicted, then what was the point?
Right.
So
you have the immediacy in the long run, and they're often mutually exclusive.
Yeah, and I think Trump will mess around with Powell. I think Powell will do what is still what he was going to do, right. And if it works positive in Trump's favor, Trump's going to take credit for it. So, and that's how politics usually works. Powell was going to do this no matter what, because he's going to do what the right thing is for the Federal Reserve, with what he's in charge of. I think it's going to tick down. I think it'll tick down a couple more times, and the person who's going to take credit for it's going to be Trump. And that's how politicians work.
Right.
It's like when gas prices go down. Oh, they're the ones that created it.
Right.
You know, so it's just how that works. So.
Yeah, but why the DOJ is questioning the cost overruns there as opposed to the oversight committees in Congress is where it gets sticky. Because once again, Trump is, and I hate this term, weaponizing the Department of Justice, because, you know, it's all he does, you know, just by innuendo, just by mentioning something or putting something in Truth Social, or by sending, whether it was conscious or not, a text to his Attorney General Pam Bondi that becomes public saying, go after these guys. You know, I mean, Trump is the get out of jail free card for all these people getting cases thrown out.
Yeah.
And every time a case gets thrown out, he wants to bring it back. And the professional, career-oriented attorneys in the DOJ and prosecutors are going, no, to the point that they resign left and right to get out from under it. So now you've got amateur hour all over the DOJ. You don't have career prosecutors. You have Trump sycophants doing it. And if we want to talk about the judiciary sycophantasticness, which is a word I could have probably just made up, you know, it's ridiculous.
I think it was the word you just made up.
Because, you know, all this is supposed to be done without fear or favor. It's supposed to be done based on the law, without personal animus, without any of that nonsense. And that's not the case any longer. You know, the judiciary is so politicized now, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, the law was the law. Well, I mean, there's a lot of gray area in it, but it should be a lot more black and white than it is. But if you're a Trump judge, and you know, 10 years ago, did you ever hear a Trump judge, an Obama judge, or whatever? No, it was a judge. You know, let alone the fact that they've eroded.
Are you talking about justices or judges?
Judges, not justices. Judges. I'm talking about the appellate court and the district courts.
That's
not
been
not the 9 of them.
That's been around pretty much since FDR days. FDR assigned a lot of judges, and he tried to
he opened it up. Yeah,
he tried to expand the Supreme Court, which he wasn't able to do, but he put in place a lot of judges when he had 12 years to.
There you go.
He had 12 years to do it.
Yet he couldn't expand the Supreme Court. Go figure.
Yeah. So
which again would have come back to bite him in a different administration.
Yeah, it would have came back to bite him again. All right, we're talking about Trump trying to take on fights. And last week you guys talked about the anniversary, which I didn't even catch on to. But Trump is trying to sue the BBC, not our press, the BBC. Do you have any idea how much he's trying to sue him for?
Yeah, it was like $2 billion, something like that.
$10 billion. Yeah. $10 billion for the way they edited the January 6th event in 2021. He's trying to sue them. So,
which everybody saw. It was a live event. It was on every channel, every news feed, everybody's cell phone. Every major news organization was there to some degree. He's got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got to, stop drinking Diet Coke and drink a cup of coffee and wake up.
Yeah.
Because he's ridiculous.
And I hate to tell you this. You got bigger things on your mind right now.
There you go.
Don't go down. I mean, just like I said, that happened. The American people reelected him even after that happened. That was the reason why I did not vote for the man, even though I could not stand any of Biden's policies.
Right.
There's no way I could vote for him because of what I witnessed that day, and I didn't see him as a leader at that point. So,
and what's worse
but it's in the past. He is our president right now, and he should focus on being the president and not chasing these stupid lawsuits across the pond. That's all it's going to do is open yourself up for more criticism. Stay focused on what's happening right here.
And stop trying to rewrite history, because you know what? As soon as you're out of office, the signs in the portrait gallery, if there's a Democrat in the White House, is going to come back up and say, and Donald Trump was impeached twice. Because, they took that out of his little bio next to his presidential portrait, but they didn't take it out of Bill Clinton's. So,
It'll go back in.
Oh, I don't doubt that for a second. Democrats
got to get their shit together.
Well, they're getting a lot closer because the most recent polls have them crushing.
Who they got on the bench? Who they gonna put up against?
JD and Marco.
JD and Marco. I think Marco's probably gonna pass.
Well, Josh Shapiro's getting in it. Could be your first Jewish president. You've got Newsom, who I still think wears the albatross of California around his neck.
Happening. California.
No, I've been saying that. I agree.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because he's probably one of the brightest and most well-spoken out there.
That anchor's way too heavy.
You got the smartest man. in government today, or out of government today, is Pete Buttigieg.
I like Buttigieg.
He laps everybody else that's out there.
So, but the problem with Buttigieg is even on the Democrat side, he'll have a tough time getting the Latin vote and the black vote's going to give him a tough time because of the religious based decision makers in there, and their pastors are standing at the pulpit saying about how bad it is, even though I believe he is the smartest man
by far.
Definitely the smartest
military veteran,
definitely the smartest
Oh,
man on that side of the
you got anybody smarter on the Republican side?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think he's a brilliant guy.
He laps everybody.
So
but you know what? You know what I say to those pastors? You know what? Look in your own house, because you know damn well that somebody in your family's gay.
Yeah.
So you better just shut up about it.
Well, and that's one of those situations where you're supposed to keep your mouth shut and your head down.
Right.
And
they're not.
That's not the way our culture works anymore. Right. That's the way our culture used to work. It's not the way our culture works anymore.
No.
That's not values, that's culture.
I understand that, but American values are eroding right before our very eyes.
American values, the breakdown of the family. We can slide right into American values.
Okay, fair play.
Yeah,
we'll just start with fair play.
Live by the golden rule is all I want people to do. Right. Live by the golden rule,
which would make you a very good Christian, and I think that's fine, and that has no religious overtone to it. It's just do unto others.
Yeah. So live by the golden rule, because the golden rule is in almost every religion. The golden rule exists in almost every culture. All right. Unfortunately, broken households have diluted. You talked about Trump hurting values, but it's not. It starts in your first 7 years of development. Your first 7 years set your mindset for the rest of your life. You grew up with two teachers.
Correct.
You grew up with a teacher's heart. You grew up in a community in your culture, probably heavily leaning towards community values and not so much about chasing the dollar.
Right. It's a good small town. I mean, 35,000 people, but great values.
All those things are. But you grew up in a household that had that base. You had a father who was active and a mother who was active. Same-sex parents are the most influential parent in a child's life. And a lot of our culture today, the men today, they talk about toxic masculinity and that bullshit. All right? if I see Blake not hold a door open for somebody,
Thank you.
he's going to get a tongue lashing.
Right.
He knows it.
Right.
And
Man or a woman.
A man or a woman.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Man or a woman, especially a woman who is older than herself. He better not walk on the outside if a woman's with him. I mean, it is not toxic to be a protector.
Correct.
My job as a parent is to be the provider and the protector as a dad. I see that as my job. I don't see that as being toxic.
No.
And if you see that as being toxic, you might want to grab a mirror because things are going to go bad for you pretty quick.
And part of the word is just courtesy. Courtesy and situational awareness. You're not going to close the door on somebody, whether it's a man or woman, black, white, green, or orange. You hold the door because it's the polite thing to do. It's just being polite.
Yeah.
It's being neighborly.
And being kind. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I have two boys that are very, very kind out in the world out there, and I'm very proud of them. And hopefully Maeve will be that same way. But it starts in the House and not the House of Representatives. So American values are not set by politics. They're set by the society that they're growing up in. And politics don't control that.
No.
So that was my point when I said I can't go along with what you're saying, that he's killing American values.
Well, he's causing torment. I don't think this country has ever been as divided as it is now. He did not start this, don't get me wrong, but he has certainly amplified it to the nth degree.
Well,
he has seen a schism, and he has picked on it and pushed through it to make it us versus them. Everything about him is us versus them.
Well, in the world of information exploding, the information explosion started with the internet. So, just so everyone knows, Al Gore's fault.
There you go.
Has to be.
Well,
he invented it.
It could be Ted Turner in the 24-hour news cycle.
Could be.
Ralph Nader.
Well, that was unsafe at any speed, so he just had to slow
Ralph
down.
Nader didn't have quite the reach.
No, obviously. No, but he was able to screw up a lot of shit by running.
Yeah.
The hanging chads.
He cost a couple of people their elections, and by a couple of people I mean Democrats. We could have had a whole different country if Ralph Nader just, stayed to Corvairs.
Yeah. And I just saw a comment about white privilege by Barbara.
Right.
I grew up in a poor community, and white, black, brown, yellow, it doesn't matter. If you're poor, you're poor. It don't matter what your skin color is. I grew up, one of my best friends, and Ty's middle name is Austin. I call him my brother. We've been best friends for 40 plus years. I have multiple best friends. When I say best friends, I'm very fortunate with my pool of friends. And the one thing we recognized early on is he is a black man and I am a white man. And neither of us ever tried to be the other.
Right.
But I can tell you there are advantages when you grow up in a household with an active father.
Correct.
Doesn't have to live. There's divorced parents with still active fathers. With an active father or an active male role model in that person's life, that is an advantage where that other person's starting life 10 miles behind you.
Correct.
So white privilege is not a direct thing, but it is a cultural thing that is a factor. And, like I said, I believe everybody can achieve those things. I have very, very successful friends that started in very, very bad spots. I don't think I started at the top of the top of the heap. But you have to know your level of success, and you have to know those hurdles and see those hurdles. But it is definitely If you studied any sociology
well, a stable
or any of
family
those
is the
things,
basis for all of it.
That's
and,
exactly it.
And if it's, if the baby daddy isn't home, well, I will tell you, nobody has more fear than somebody going up against their black grandmother. God bless them.
Well, and unfortunately, the welfare system, which was supposed to help
Right.
Those families, actually pressed down on those families because they were like, Grandma never had it this good.
Yeah.
And it actually stole the American dream away from quite a few people, and it created a bigger divide between the haves and have-nots, in my opinion.
Yeah, I still can't understand how you can't get together and figure out workfare to some degree, because there will be people who will continually need a handout because they're just not in a position to do it completely on their own. And if you start looking around and you look at the federal minimum wage is like, I don't know, $7.09. It's like $7.25.
I think it's higher than that now.
It might have the federal minimum wage.
I think. Yeah,
Check that, because I don't think it's over $7 unless it changed.
I think they bumped it again. So.
And if it's $8, I'll be pleased and impressed. But by that same token, however, people will need some type of assistance, whether it's SNAP benefits, whether it's child care.
So, all right, federal minimum is $7.25, but there are some states that require like a state minimum wage, which is like around $15 an hour.
Yeah, ours
just went up again.
Ours is working its way to 15.
Right, but it's not close yet.
Yeah, I think it's 12 now.
Florida's is 14.
Oh, good. It just went up again, right?
Yeah.
So it'll get there next year, I think.
Next year,
because they did this as a phased-in situation.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is the way to do it, because you're not going to go from paying somebody $10 an hour to $15 an hour overnight and have the businesses stay in business. So they need to have time to plan and build this in. But the fact that people need some type of governmental assistance shouldn't be in exchange for nothing. And I've said for years and years and years, whether it's painting a line down the middle of the street, whether it's sweeping a curb, whether it's 10 hours a week, it doesn't matter. There needs to be some skin in the game. There needs to be some participation instead of just giving a handout for the sake of giving a handout. At that point, people also have some self-respect out of the deal, because now they're earning it to some degree, whether it's not the true earning value of what they're getting, but at least they're getting some type of benefit out of doing it, intellectually, emotionally.
And I think that's why Habitat works. They make them participate in the process.
Building their own houses, yeah.
Yeah, they make them participate in the process, and I think that's why Habitat has stayed so successful. So, all right, Blake, what else did we have in the title? We had wind
farms.
Wind farms and just general arguments.
Just general arguments.
This one might be enough. Right
Not
here.
really.
Yeah. So wind farms, and you.
Yeah. They use oil. Over the life of the time, you're going to get much more benefit out of the electricity than out of the oil.
I dug deeper.
Me too. Carry on.
So I want to hear your pros so I can hit it with every con. Because the cons
sounds like we got a con job going over here.
Sounds to me
Mr.
like
President.
The cons way outweigh the pros right now with the technology.
Not even close, because of look, until you get those little nuclear reactors and those small packaged nuclear reactors up to start feeding these energy sucking AI plants, you're going to need electricity from everywhere. Reorganizing and reopening closed coal plants is not the answer.
I don't agree with coal.
Right.
And
the Environmental Protection Agency that is now saying, yeah, we don't care about human costs, we just care about business costs, is ludicrous, because that's not what the Environmental Protection Agency is here for.
With your plan, you don't care about land.
It's in the ocean.
It's in the ocean. Did you see what the cost in the ocean is? I thought we were talking about on land.
Oh, no. We're talking about the ones on the coast. Yeah.
Oh, my dear God. Yeah. We were talking about birds and bats, and now you're
bring the whales into it. Go ahead.
Now you're killing the right whale, and you're killing the dolphins.
And the left whale.
Don't be killing the right whale.
Oh, my
No, it's the left whale.
You got to be.
I used to do a school project on school.
You just quadrupled.
They wouldn't kill the right whales. They're only going to try to kill the left whales.
You just quadrupled the cost, the maintenance, and the chance of an environmental destruction. Because people don't realize that it takes petroleum to turn these damn things, and to keep them lubricated, and all that. So you want to actually put oil into the ocean,
where it's coming from,
to maintain the turbines. Okay, you're talking about turbines for energy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Wind turbines. So wait a second.
You said wind.
So,
Wait. What wind is in the ocean?
the turbines are in the ocean. The windmills are in the ocean.
Okay. I thought you were
Up and
talking
down
about
the East
energy
Coast.
turbines underneath when you're saying.
No,
in the
not
ocean.
wave technology.
Oh my gosh, you're talking about above the
Yeah.
water.
Yes.
In the ocean.
Oh, why? You're talking about wave technology?
No, wave technology is
Yeah,
what I thought you were going to.
no.
You said
I'm still
in the ocean. Okay.
That's where the turbines are.
No.
That's where where Trump stopped all development.
They're on the ocean.
Well, they're embedded in the
They're
seafloor.
not in the ocean. They're on the ocean.
They're embedded in the seafloor.
Yeah.
They're not floating. These are not floating turbines.
Still with that, you want to put the tree-hugging world that your side is normally known for.
Go ahead.
You want to put more oil back into a material that has a very high chance of leaking out.
First of all, these don't
in the
leak.
ocean. Oh, they don't. They never. Were they man-made?
I'm not saying they're never going to leak, but
Were they
they do.
man-made?
They do not leak.
Well, you know what? Neither did that pipeline that got crushed by Biden.
Or did the BP Horizon? However, okay, great. And how many millions of gallons of oil came out of that?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Okay, fine.
That's what I'm
One
saying.
turbine breaks. You got 12,000 gallons of oil, and you throw a boom around it, and you're done.
Tell it to that one fish. You just killed a fish.
Easy, Dr. Seuss. One fish, two fish,
Yeah,
red fish,
exactly.
oil fish.
And the cost of those is 5 times as much as putting it on land. My argument was about wind farms,
Yes.
which implies it's on land.
Okay. He hasn't said anything about those now because most of those are in Republican states, which is also, by the way, his baseline, because he had no problem with the one in Virginia when it was a Republican governor. As soon as Spangberger won and became a Democratic governor of Virginia,
These are the energy equivalent to recycling to me.
to you,
It's my opinion.
it is.
All right. And
But
your
to the-
opinion is
They're
to believe
worthwhile.
the propaganda. All right.
So I believe propaganda. You believe facts.
Here's the question.
Go ahead.
When recycling first came out, did you buy into it?
Oh, all the time. Separated my paper and my cans.
Do you still buy into it?
I still put it out.
Do you still think it's a effective way?
I think it's no longer as good as it was when we were getting paid for our cardboard and our paper, which we're not longer getting paid for cardboard and paper.
Which was pennies on what we were actually paying doing the programs.
Well,
It was
back in the day, the city was making money on it.
No, it wasn't. No,
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
How can you say that?
Because I know how much trucks cost. I know how much the labor costs. I know how much collection is. I know how much it is to have them on the street, the burn it takes to run those trucks. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even close. All right? This is coming from a Parks and Rec guy who lived it, who spewed out those fake facts because that's what my government told me to do. Even though
Did the city
I
of St.
knew
Augustine sell their paper, sell
we
their
sold
cardboard?
it to Georgia, and then they sold it to China. And you know how much we got? We got pennies.
Okay.
Pennies on what we spent.
City of Long Beach is a lot better off than the city of St.
Well,
Augustine.
they're better at their propaganda is all it is. Because it
They
still
made
takes
money. I saw
they
the budget
didn't.
lines.
No, you saw the revenue side. You didn't see the expense side.
I know where the
It's
expense
easy
side
to
was.
look
The
at
sanitation department
it
expense
looks
was right there, too.
It looks, so it paid, so it was, you didn't have to use taxpayers' money to run that program.
We used budget money.
Exactly.
Okay.
You
But it wasn't
if
just
it was
for
so
that.
good, if it was so good, it would have been an enterprise fund. Was it an enterprise fund?
No, it was a line item.
Exactly. That means it could not afford to sustain itself. In government, if it could sustain itself, it would be an enterprise fund. Recycling is nowhere in the entire world an enterprise fund. It costs more money to do it. It makes people feel good. That is what the program is. If
When we were getting paid, we were getting paid well.
No, you saw the revenue side, but you didn't put it against the cost side.
Well, it was built into it because it wasn't a separate line item. It was built into the sanitation fund.
And why was it?
Which, by the way, was a separate line item like it is here.
If it was making money, it would be a revenue fund, and it would not have to be supported by.
I go back there. I got rid of all my old budgets.
Yeah.
They were heavy.
I bet they were.
They were freaking doorstops.
I bet
man.
they were.
They're that thick doorstops.
Yeah. So I mean, I can tell you right now, I wish, and I have no problem with recycling centers because that takes the trucks off of the road. It takes the manpower out of it. It takes the fuel being burnt out of it. I have no trouble with that portion of it, and making people feel good about it, and it going there, and then someone coming to pick it up, have them come pick it up and pay for it. I have no problem with that, but I know how much is wasted and actually that doesn't get recycled. The percentage that actually does get recycled, and I bought recycled playgrounds because they lasted longer. The compressed plastics, they lasted
virgin
longer.
rubber, right?
Yeah, you know, and I did all of those things. There's certain components of it that work, but recycling programs as a government agency doesn't work.
Okay.
So it just doesn't work. So, all right, wind and why I think it doesn't work.
Okay.
All right. Cost of earning back. It takes about 7 years for a turbine to earn back.
They're expensive. They're expensive to put
what
in.
it originally, the original cost up front is expensive. The problem I have with it is I think it's money that could be going to cleaner nuclear power.
We'll get there.
I think this diverts away from that. It takes up a lot of space for the turbines, and we're still talking about the ocean. I was talking about overland.
Yeah, they're beautiful on the ridges. I mean, all in the Midwest.
Just the same as a solar farm. They take up a lot of space and they kill everything underneath it.
I think the solar farms may take up a whole lot more space because you need all those mirrors out there.
Well,
the wind turbines, you know, you can see them. They're on peaks of mountains all throughout the country. Pretty cool.
But the problem is they're inconsistent too.
Well, you gotta have the wind.
You don't know when the wind's going to blow.
Right.
So you don't know when the wind's going to blow. So that's the reason it'll never be a sustainable component. To me, I think the focus, and to call it clean energy is like calling
Clean coal?
an electric car clean energy.
Okay.
It might be a more efficient way, but don't call it clean.
Well, it's the
Lithium batteries
Oh,
are proving
yeah.
that it's not clean.
They're going to blow up, and and then how to get rid of the lithium.
Yeah.
I think it shouldn't be clean. It should be non-exhaust energy.
Yeah.
EVs are just they don't belch exhaust.
The emissions portion of it is where I mean, and it's a lot of.
And I think that's what people think when they think of that, something like that. When they think clean energy, it's not smoke, it's not particulates, it's not going to give somebody asthma.
But to build these, as far as the construction goes, what I just glanced through.
Okay, so let me ask you this: does it make sense now for our president to shut down the 5 or 6 projects that are in the Atlantic Ocean on the eastern seaboard, opposite democratically run states?
That are already working?
Some of them are working. Some of them are 3/4 of the way through. Some of them are days from completion, and he pulled the permits on all of them and stopped, putting 10,000 people out of work, stopping projects, $25 billion worth of in the
Here's my
banks.
thoughts, because I'm somewhere in between. All right, if they're already working, the cost has already happened.
Yeah,
shutting them down makes 0 sense.
Correct.
It's like baking a cake and throwing it out. It makes no sense. You got to eat it.
Right.
So eat the cake, get your money back. That doesn't make sense. And stopping new construction, I'm okay with.
Yeah, but he stopped projects that are in the middle of, if not all. I mean, one of these is 87% completed and feeds 350,000 homes. Another one.
How does it feed 357?
Power for 350,000 homes.
On inconsistent power.
They seem to be consistent.
It's got to be subsidized with something.
All it says is that they're 87% completed, and they got the power for 350,000 homes. There was another one off of Martha's Vineyard, which is pretty close to done.
It's California, okay.
Martha's Vineyard. Martha, Massachusetts.
Oh, it's Massachusetts.
Right.
Martha doesn't live in California?
I don't think so.
Whenever you say vineyard, I go to California.
You think of Vineyard Vines? Oh, no, you're thinking of real vineyards.
Yeah, vineyards.
Oh, where's Irving when we need him?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah.
Let's get back to serious stuff.
Martha's
Irving,
Vineyard.
come on, man.
In Massachusetts, it's another very...
Vineyard 1 off of Martha's Vineyard is half done, and half is done. It's operational. It's going to handle 200,000 homes.
Okay. Who's building these?
Private companies. The Empire one is done in Denmark. They're private companies. There's not government entities involved in this.
Okay, there's not government subsidies on it?
Nope.
And why is he sticking his nose in? See, that's your
Why?
argument.
Because he can't help himself.
No, see, this is where you guys screw up your argument. That's where the people who own businesses
Right.
get pissed about that. If he's getting government subsidies, okay, he has a say.
Yeah.
If they're not getting government subsidies, he really shouldn't have a say because it doesn't cost, because they have the land leases,
Right.
and those people
Well,
have
he's pulling back the leases now.
Those people have property rights.
Right.
And he's attacking those, so he's
Correct.
probably going to end up losing a lot of these cases. They'll reopen. He's created an inconvenience, which is part of his trail that he leaves behind. He leaves a wake.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, and he invents shit because unless he starts giving some details, he's saying they're bad for national security.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically, most of these developments and most of these wind farm developments were done in close coordination with the U.S. military. So all of a sudden, it's now national security concerns, which this is true Trumpian. It's national security concerns. Can you explain that? No, I can't tell you anything about that. They were dealing drugs. Do you have evidence that they were dealing drugs? No. We can't tell you any of that. He doesn't bring the receipts.
Yeah.
He throws shit out there and he doesn't back anything up with any facts.
And here I'm going to be devil's advocate against you on when you said jobs.
Okay.
Those are temporary jobs.
Some are, some aren't, but the majority of them are
construction.
Majority of them are construction jobs.
If they're construction,
The majority of them are construction
that number's
jobs.
not a real number.
Well, it is for the next couple of years.
It's not a real number. It's not sustainable.
Tell that to the people who got laid off 3 days before Christmas.
But it's also playing games with numbers, and that's what both sides do.
Sure.
This is why you can't trust either side, and you got to find your own way. And because construction jobs, those guys that left that job, if they're quality, they're working, and they're working again.
Hopefully, especially if they're union.
If they're quality, if you're a quality individual, you don't need the union.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
It hurts when you have to pay the union dues.
Yeah, but it also helps when you get laid off.
I'm
and you
not
have a strike
giving my
fund.
percentage when I know I can fight for my own self.
Okay.
So I can tell you, Florida and unions don't go together.
You Southerners don't do it well.
Yeah,
right?
we don't do it well. I don't think unions are doing well for themselves
Not
at all
anymore. Well, look, I've been saying for years, and my degree is in industrial and labor relations, and I've been saying for years that unions are their own worst enemy.
Yeah, 100%.
They have outlived their usefulness because of the way they've tried to dictate to the companies.
They became too much like government. Right. Unions became too much like government and left the heart of the worker behind.
Correct.
So that's where
they basically tried to kill the golden goose. Mm-hmm. They asked for more than the company can provide, and then couldn't understand why the company said no. They closed.
The auto workers.
There you go.
Prime example of how ridiculous it is. And I guess Trump put lower rates on American cars. Something in place today, like an executive order.
Today,
something.
Sure.
Blake, can you look that up? What that was about?
Specifically, what would you like me to look up?
What Trump passed today on buying an American car against car loans. So, he's
buy American.
But if you're buying an American car, your interest rate's going to be lower. I don't know how.
I don't know how can that work.
I don't know how that's managed, but
when he takes over the Federal Reserve,
I saw a headline. About it right as
okay.
Well, I was doing my scrolling through.
There was nothing passed today specifically talking about car loans. I believe you may be talking about like a new auto loan tax break that was like 3 weeks ago. But.
Okay, it might have been. I might have just saw it today. I thought I saw something with Trump,
which makes sense. You want to encourage people to buy American cars, which is but you got to define terms now because there's so many foreign car makers that are finishing cars in the United States that for all intents and purposes, they may very well be American assembled cars because they've all moved their plants into Tennessee and Georgia and, Alabama.
All right. It looks like it was 5 days ago.
Okay. But, right now, Trump pulled the leases or put stop work orders in on 5 major projects along the eastern seaboard. $25 billion worth of projects, which are going to power 2.5 million homes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some of them are up and running now. And you know what the genesis of all this is? Scotland told them to take a hike. Mm-hmm. Basically, it comes down to the fact that Scotland told them to go, who the hell are you? Go away. Because there was a wind turbine that was harshing his mellow outside his golf course in Scotland. and he tried to shut it down, and he was unable to do it. And since then, he has had personal animus toward windmills.
Wasn't this the same? There was one dude who
There was another. There was another
held
guy,
out in Scotland.
That was You gotta like those craggy little Scotsmen. They say no, I'm gonna hit you with my shillelagh.
Yeah. Okay. It was Trump put a no tax on car loan interest.
Okay.
So that's what the policy was. So. Okay.
Couple dollars here, couple dollars there doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah. So there's a no tax on that.
Okay.
So. All right.
Yeah, that was actually in the
Oh,
one
Barbara
thing-
Jean, it's a fine show.
It was in the big beautiful bill.
Yeah.
You just gotta stop worrying about Zoran Mandani's, Barbara Jean, or don't buy an apartment in Manhattan.
Yeah,
it's all gonna work out, dear. Don't you worry about it.
New York City will straighten themselves out.
Yep. You know.
Either that, or we'll have to go in and save them again.
I doubt it. Barbara Jean's
you think this is the time socialism's going to work?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. And by the way, you got to define terms, because he's not taking your money and giving it to somebody else unless you're a landlord. And then
yes, he is.
You're in trouble, buddy.
I am a landlord.
You're in trouble, baby.
No, why? Why is your money that you work for more important than the money that I work for?
Mine is, for me.
No. See, that's the whole problem.
Right.
Is I got ahead,
right,
and I get punished for getting ahead because I had 10 jobs, right, and I worked for everything I got. And because I have more, I have to pay a higher percentage. And that makes sense to you?
Well, those who have more should do more.
They do. If you leave it in my pocket, I will do more. Okay. But I will give more than what you'll be able to do with my money. I've been able to make my money and be successful with my money. Okay. I know better how to handle my money than you do, Mr. Government Agency. And that has proven.
We will see how this shakes out.
Yes, we will, because it's failed 9 bazillion times all over the world.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so,
hey, look, it's working out for him. He's got free housing out of it. It's working out great for him.
Yeah,
he's got free housing. He just moved into Gracie Mansion.
Here's a guy who's never been a boss.
Right. Well,
he's never even been a boss.
Right.
So we'll see.
He's got a small organization. He's got a little small organization.
Yeah,
he's got to deal with.
We'll see how this works out.
We will.
So he's never.
It's intriguing. It really is. It's fascinating to see what happens.
Yeah, a nice experiment on the largest city we have in our entire country.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's where we want to experiment. Well, why don't you start like in
Minneapolis?
Yeah, any place smaller than New York.
Okay.
Not here. Not St. Augustine. Stay your ass up
too
there.
small. Right. Too small. Too small.
Scranton.
Why are you picking on Joe Biden?
So, yeah, but I believe.
I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen in New York.
Here it is. I believe wind turbines have some positive effects. Mm-hmm. I don't believe they're a sustainable source. I believe they are a trinket to distract where the real solution is. I don't see this being a solution for any energy issues that we have in the United States or any place else.
Well, our needs are too large right now, and they're going to get larger if you start building these AI farms, which is going to suck all the energy out of everything. So until you have a sustainable source of electricity for these AI plants, it's got to come from somewhere. And until nuclear reactors get online and are safe and efficient and affordable, it's going to be a problem. So, and we can't rely on coal. We can't rely on oil. We have been, but there's pros and cons to all of it, and the downside are way down on some of them. And the upside.
It was those things got shut down. It was a $7.6 billion energy grant from the previous administration for those turbines.
Okay.
So that's, like I said, you follow the money, you find the problem.
Right.
And that's where that was at. So this was less to do about turbines and more to do about him thinking Biden threw money out the window.
It's also
him being able to step on Kamala and Biden's, because Kamala was involved.
That's all he wants to do.
Kamala was involved in that also.
Right, that's all he wants to do is erase them. But it also helps his buddies in the coal and oil industry.
Yeah.
Because anything that takes away from coal and oil power is not beneficial to him and his
federal judge has already said that.
Stopped him, right.
Yeah, already stopped Trump.
Right.
So,
for being basically arbitrary and capricious.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah. So.
But it doesn't matter because it'll go to the appellate division where he stacked the court.
Here's the thing. I don't agree that Biden and Kamala should have spent $7.6 billion on this project.
Okay.
All right. But I more don't agree that Trump should have tried to stamp something out on grants that have already been given,
Correct.
already been awarded, already have a legal contract attached to them, which is why he got, told you can't do that. So he's got to understand that you can't just throw the spaghetti against the wall. There are ramifications, and these seem to be back up and running. It is what it looks like. It looks like the court order yesterday said that they should be back going again,
which is good for the employees.
Yep.
According to this, turbines pay back the energy and emissions from their manufacturing within about a year of operation. There's batteries and storage, so the intermittency is being dealt with and taken care of.
Yeah, those batteries we're back to the other dangerous portion.
Well, there you go.
So, like I said, I don't see this as the solution. I see this as more of a kind of a cookie to throw towards the environmental side of it. And I don't think cookies work in real business.
Well, it seems that according to this, they are very effective. Wind turbines are very effective for generating energy without burning fuels. The batteries will keep them. They're good for the economies. Also, the object is to lower the energy bills for people, which a lot of these companies that were doing this have already signed energy contracts with municipalities at a certain level to keep the cost of electricity down, and they're committed to providing that low-cost electricity to these communities that are adjacent to where these transmission lines are going. Look, you also have onshore issues of the transmission lines and the transformers and stuff, too. So you got a lot more of that going on as well.
Yeah.
And technological advances are making them more and more efficient as you go, and that's taking care of also your oil issue because they're creating new oils.
And that was one of my statements. I don't think it's advanced enough with the cost of what it takes to do the construction, the cost, and the improvements of where it takes. I don't think it's a good solution.
Right now they're cost competitive.
I think we should focus not on the amount of energy they're putting out, though, compared to what a nuclear.
Well, nuclear is going to be the key.
Yeah,
but they've got to get them. They've got to build them. They've got to safeguard them. So once that gets done, then you don't need oil. You don't need oil or gas-fired plants either. So stop digging up West Virginia.
Yeah. So, but those are the jobs that were promised.
Very disappointing. You didn't yell nearly enough.
I'm sorry. You see,
next Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes next Tuesday.
I'll gin you up.
Yeah.
Blake didn't throw any gas on any of these fires.
He's still feeling from his tooth.
I know
his tooth procedure,
which was piggybacked on the top of the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers looked pitiful.
Yeah,
it
was not good.
Yeah, they made the playoffs. The Dolphins didn't, so I can't say anything. All right, guys, I want to say thank you for paying attention. If you liked what we said, share it. If you don't like what we said, send it to your enemies and share it with them. All right, that's how you get them back. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. We're doing Wager Wire tomorrow.
Yeah, baby.
All right, this is Bollocks this evening.
See you tomorrow.